Have you seen the statement that Amber Heard posted on her Instagram account on the eve of jury selection in the trial in the $50 million defamation lawsuit that Johnny Depp is suing Amber Heard for falsely claiming she's a victim of domestic violence at the hands of Johnny Depp? What was the purpose of this statement? We're going to take a look at the statement that she posted on Instagram. We're going to look at it word for word and how it could be potentially used against her or not. So I don't know whether her attorneys are applauding her for that statement or cringing. But I'll tell you why. There's a reason why we tell our clients to not make any statements while litigation is pending. But maybe it was just a rally for support. We'll see. You let me know. So, again, this video is just my opinion, right? So, who am I? I'm Michele Hagan. I'm a legal analyst and a former prosecutor. You may recognize me because I provided a lot of legal analysis on the Elizabeth Holmes case. And I am a former domestic violence prosecutor. But I am not a Virginia lawyer. I am a California lawyer. So we're just going to look at the words. This video is for educational, informational purposes only. And thank you to all of you who have subscribed and supported my work. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Please do support my work. Hit the like button, share these videos, hit the notification bell, and please leave a comment because I want to know what you think. What's your analysis of her statement? Okay? Because this is simply my opinion. All right. And the other question I have is whether or not this statement could be used as its own claim of defamation, right? So let's take a look at what she wrote on Instagram. Okay, so here is her Instagram account. Here's her homepage of that. So it shows you she has 4.1 million followers. It's Amber Heard's Instagram. And again, this video, I'm not taking sides here. I'm just analyzing the law and the evidence, all right? I'm not, I don't mean any disrespect to Miss Heard or Mr. Depp at all, okay? I'm neutral here. I am just analyzing what I see. And I want to get your analysis as well, so please do leave a comment. All right, so we know she has 4.1 million followers. All right, so what did she say in her post? So let's take a look at that. So she writes, I'm going to go offline for the next several weeks. As you may know, I'll be in Virginia, where I face my ex-husband, Johnny Depp, in court. And again, I'm just going to read this first, and then we're going to go through it. I'll be in Virginia, where I face my ex-husband, Johnny Depp, in court. Johnny is suing me for an op-ed I wrote in the Washington Post, in which I recounted my experience of violence and domestic abuse. I never named him. Rather, I wrote about the price women pay for speaking out against men in power. I continue to pay that price, but hopefully when this case concludes, I can move on, and so can Johnny. I have always maintained a love for Johnny, and it brings me great pain to have to live out the details of our past life together in front of the world. At this time, I recognize the ongoing support I've been fortunate to receive throughout these years. The ongoing support to receive throughout these years, and in these coming weeks, I will be leaning on it more than ever. With love, A. Okay, so looks like she wrote this, right? So let me go back to this page here. Let's go through it now and let's look at what she wrote and whether this could be used. And I can tell you, if I was representing Depp, I'd be looking at this statement hard, right? So what did she write here? I'm going to go offline for the next several weeks. All right, so she's letting her, totally legitimate. And again, I'm going to play the devil's advocate here. And I don't mean any disrespect. We're just using this as an educational exercise here. All right, and it's simply my opinion. So I'm going to go offline for the next several weeks. Great. She's telling her supporters, her followers, she's going to be offline. Okay, totally legit. As you may know, I'll be in Virginia, where I face my ex-husband Johnny Depp in court. I'll be in Virginia. Well, she's letting them know where she'll be. Maybe fans will come out and support her. Maybe she's letting them know where she'll be. Where I face my ex-husband Johnny Depp in court. Interesting word. Where I face. Face, meaning personal, right? Face. It's not, where I stand to defend myself or where I'm standing up for justice. No, it's where I face, okay? Again, this is just my critique. Where I face, all right? So personal. And, what's important about that is using that word face as it makes it personal is because if her defense is the privilege, and if you watch my video I did on the 5 reasons where Johnny Depp may lose this lawsuit, you will see where I talk about the privilege to defamation. And the privilege to defamation in Virginia, apparently, is that if it's a matter of public concern, then you have a privilege, right? Well, she's not, is it personal or is it about a public interest concern regarding domestic violence? I don't know. What do you think? Then she says, Johnny is suing me for an op-ed I wrote in the Washington Post in which I recounted my experience of violence and domestic abuse. Okay, so Johnny Depp is suing her for the op-ed. All right, we all agree on that. In which I recounted my experience of violence and domestic abuse. All right, so the plaintiff's team is alleging, Mr. Depp is alleging that she's making this up, that there was no violence, he's not a domestic abuser, it's just a publicity hoax, right? Well, okay, she's now tying Johnny in the same sentence to recounting her experience of violence and domestic abuse. Then she says, I never named him. Okay, great. Well, he's being named here. I never named him. Rather, I wrote about the price women pay for speaking out against men in power. True, she did say that, right? And in the post, and I'll flip to it real quick here to show you what she wrote. And here it is, the Washington Post. This is the printed version, came out December 19th. The online version was December 18th. But in here, she talks about a transformative moment for women. And again, domestic violence impacts men. Men are also victims of domestic violence. And then in the blue section, the blue highlights are where she's talking about interest, public concern, about domestic violence, about the Violence Against Women Act over here on the right. And then these particular yellow highlighted sections are the sections that the plaintiffs, Johnny Depp alleges, amount to defamation. When she talks about, then 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of the culture's wrath for women who speak out, blah, blah, blah. I had the real vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse. All right, but she said face, but yet she's talking about domestic violence on the larger scale. And again, no disrespect, right? She's reaching out probably just to connect to her supporters and to let them know why she's not going to be posting on Instagram. All right, so then she says, I continue to pay the price, but hopefully when this case concludes, I can move on and so can Johnny. All right. I have always maintained a love for Johnny. And why is it interesting that she says, I have always maintained a love for Johnny? Because if you watch the 5 reasons video I did, one of the ways in which Depp could defeat her claim of privilege to defamation, saying, it's protected speech regarding a public interest, regarding information about domestic violence. The way that he could defeat that is you lose the privilege if Depp can show that Ms. Heard had any hatred or ill will. So she says here, I have always maintained a love for Johnny. So maybe that's the connection. I don't know. Again, I'm looking at this, circumspect, and again, how they could twist this. They could twist this and they could use this against Ms. Heard in cross-examination or in their case against her. All right, she says, I've always maintained a love for Johnny, and it brings me great pain to have to live out the details of our past life together. So, what details about the past life? Is she talking about the domestic abuse? And she's mentioning Johnny in this post, right? And in the Washington Post, she claims she never identified him. And she also says in this post, she never mentioned him by name. But isn't she making the connection here by saying we have to live out the details of our past life together? It brings me great pain. And again, domestic violence is extremely painful and devastates people's lives. And no doubt, she is claiming she's a victim of domestic violence and suffered great pain. All right. So, she has every right to express herself, First Amendment, but it's the timing of this that's concerning to me. On the eve of jury selection, right? So, and when you're under, ongoing litigation for something that you've allegedly already said, right? And here she is speaking again. So let's look at the next page. Oh, actually here. She says, at this time, I recognize the ongoing support I've been fortunate to receive. I recognize. Interesting word, I recognize. What about I'm thankful, I'm grateful, I appreciate, I recognize? Maybe she's just trying to recognize her support of her fans, which is great, okay? Because it takes a lot of courage. Believe me, I witnessed and I worked with many victims, men and women, and it takes a lot of courage to take the stand and to talk about the most intimate details of your life and what happened and the violence, and to have to, basically relive it. It's devastating to go through that experience of domestic violence, but it's also extremely empowering. I have witnessed it. When these victims get off the stand, the relief that they feel having spoken their truth and having talked about what happened and taking back their power. Okay? So I get it. All right? So then she says, the support she receives throughout these years and in these coming weeks, I will be leaning on it more than ever. No doubt. It's tough going through a trial, especially when she's basically on the stand for what she said, allegedly, right? And having to talk about the traumatic experience that she went through, right? She's going to talk about that. And the jury's going to have to make the call. And whether or not it was a false statement that she made, it was a defamatory statement that damaged Johnny Depp's career. But also keep in mind, what's not in this post is, let's see here. Why is this not going back? Is that she said, Johnny is suing me for an op-ed I wrote in the Washington Post. Well, she's also suing him for defamation, right? And legitimately, she has a right to sue him as a counterclaim for defamation because they're alleging, Johnny Depp's team is alleging that this is all a hoax, that she's making this up, that she's a victim of domestic violence at the hands of Johnny Depp, right? So she has the right to file these claims, and he has the right to sue her if it's a false statement and it damaged her career, his career. She has the right to sue him for defamation if he's making false statements that damage her career and livelihood. So it's not going to be an easy case for this jury. But in my opinion, this post, this statement by Amber Heard, not good, in my opinion. But you tell me what you think. What's your analysis? Think about this. She posts this, and again, I'm going to the other side here. We're looking at the way this could be used against her. The timing of this post. She posted it the day before jury selection, the eve before jury selection. And she's letting her followers, her supporters know, and that this is why she's going to be offline. She's telling them, as you may know, I'll be in Virginia. Well, I assume if you're a follower of Amber Heard, you know what's going on in this lawsuit. You know about the lawsuit in the UK, right? That Johnny lost that libel lawsuit. Okay, but that one was decided by a judge. This one is going to be decided by a jury. A jury of 7, okay, who have to come to a unanimous verdict that she defamed Johnny Depp or that he defamed Amber Heard. Okay? But so follow me on this. So if she posts this the eve before jury selection, could it be argued that she's using this to influence the potential jurors out there? Granted, the people who are followers of her Instagram account are going to get this. But who also is going to pick this up? The media. The media is going to say, hey, look at what Amber Heard posted on Instagram. And who's going to be reading that? I don't know, prospective jurors in Virginia, where she's basically stating her case right here. He's suing me. I never mentioned him. I'm speaking out against men against men in power. She continues to pay the price. She's the victim. She's getting her side of the story out. But at what cost? At what cost? Could this be used against her? So you let me know. Leave a comment. What's your analysis? I'm curious. What's your analysis of her words, of her statement, of this post and the timing of it? And whether or not Johnny Depp could use this statement alone to sue her for defamation. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. So again, please subscribe. Please support my work by subscribing. Please hit the like button. Share these videos. And please do leave a comment. Thank you very much for watching. Let me move this over here. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate your support. So do subscribe.